IXL section Q4, identify functions. Okay, first let's go over or review what a relation is. A relation is a set of ordered pairs, x comma y, where x is the input value and y is the output value. So whenever you have a table, either it could be in this format or in this format, where they're showing you the relationship between an x coordinate and a y coordinate, an x coordinate and a y coordinate, an x and a y, that's called a relation. It's not that deep, so don't overthink it. Just this is a relation, this is a relation, this is a relation, and this is a relation. All right? Again, it's not that deep. This is just the setup for the next slide where it gets more interesting. But one thing I do want to point out is that always the domain, which the domain is always going to be all the x coordinates. All the x coordinates are the domain. And those are the inputs of a relation. And the range, which is all the y coordinates, are all the possible outputs of a relation. If that doesn't make sense, just wait 1 second, please. Wait 1 moment. Okay, but all the x coordinates are always the domain. Always. And these are also called the input values. They're the input in a relation. And all the y coordinates, whoops, I missed that 0. This is always the range, and these are always the output values. Always, always, always. Same is true here. The x is the domain, which is the input. The y is the range, which is the output. Alright, so this never changes. That applies always whenever you have a relation. Which, again, a relation is just a table showing x coordinate paired up with a y coordinate. An x coordinate paired up with a y coordinate. Okay? That's what a relation is. En español, una relación es un conjunto de pares ordenados x y, donde x es el valor de entrada e y es el valor de salida. El dominio son todas las entradas posibles de una relación y el rango son todas las salidas posibles de una relación. Ok, así que una relación es simplemente una tabla enseñando, o un diagrama enseñando la relación entre coordenados de x asociado a coordenados de y. Simplemente eso, no es nada complicado, no lo piensen demasiado. Eso es una relación. Estos son 4 ejemplos de relaciones. ¿Ok? Ahora, los coordenados de x siempre, siempre, siempre son el dominio. ¿Ok? En inglés, domain. Dominio. Y también se le dice, bueno, en español, estas son todas las entradas posibles. Se le dicen los valores que están entrando en una función, que en un momento les voy a enseñar lo que es eso. Pero estas son todas las entradas posibles y estas son las salidas. Y los coordenados de y, que es el rango. Esto siempre aplica a todos los coordenados de x, son el dominio siempre y son las entradas. Y los coordenados de y siempre son el rango, que son todas las salidas. Otra vez, si no entienden eso, esperen hasta lo que les voy a enseñar próximo, una función, y eso explica mejor cómo se usa esto. Alright, let's go to the next slide. Okay, this part is important and easy, alright, but very, very important. We're going to be dealing with it for several classes. It's extremely important. Okay, a function. A function is a type of relation in which there is only one output value for each input value. This picture right here explains it really well. Okay, right here it says a rule. For example, this rule right here. If you don't know what this means, don't worry about it. I'm going to explain it later on today in the next IXL section that I'm going to explain in today's class. Alright? But basically, imagine this is the rule, 2x plus 1. What you're inputting into the rule is a value for x. For example, x equals 5. That's the input. If x equals 5, you put the 5 right there, you do 5 times 2, which is 10, and then 10 plus 1, which is 11. 11 would be the output. Alright? That's what a function is. Now, in order for a relation to be a function, here's the important part. In order for a relation to be a function, there can only be one output value for each input value. What I mean is this. When you input a number into the function, for example, let's use the same example I just said a moment ago, x equals 5. Let's say x equals 5. When I input it into this rule, I cannot get two different answers. It's impossible in order for it to be a function, which I'll show you in a second. But when you input a number in here, into the rule, into the function, you can only get one answer, period. You cannot get anything else but one answer. If I input x equals 5 and output, I get two different numbers, like, I don't know, y equals 11 and also y equals 32. Therefore, that would not be a function if you get two different answers. Okay? In order to be a function, when x equals 5, I got to get only one answer, y equals blank. Alright? Again, if you're not fully getting it, wait till we get to the next slide and you'll get it a little bit more than you did when you heard this. Alright? So as you can see here, okay, in this table, when x is negative 2, I only get one answer, y equals negative 3. Remember, everything here is the input, and everything, all the x coordinates are the input, all the y coordinates are the output. So in other words, when I input into whatever function, alright, it doesn't matter right now what is the rule. The point is, when you input into whatever function this is referring to, when you input x equals negative 2, my answer is always going to be y equals negative 3. When I input x equals negative 1, my answer is going to be y equals negative 1. When I input x equals 0, my answer is always y equals 1, etc. By the way, this bottom part, for right now, ignore it for right now. I'll get to that later. Por ahora, ignoren esto. Okay? Okay, and right here you can see the same thing I was saying. This is another way to display a relation. Okay, here it's saying that when x equals negative 2, the arrow's pointing to positive 4, y equals positive 4. I'm only getting one answer. When x equals negative 2, the only answer I get is y equals 4. When x equals 0, the only answer I get is y equals 0. When x equals 1, the only answer I get is y equals 1. Now pay attention. When x equals 2, the only answer I get is y equals 4. It's perfectly fine that I also get the answer of 4 when I input x equals negative 2. That's okay. What matters is that when I input x equals 2, I only get one answer, and that answer is y equals 4. I'll show you a few more examples that'll make that more clear in one moment, alright? Just hold on for one moment. En español, una función es un tipo de relación en la que solo hay un valor de salida para cada valor de entrada. Ok, así que una función es básicamente una regla como esta que está aquí. Si no entienden lo que está al principio, lo pueden ignorar por ahora. Lo voy a explicar hoy en esta clase, en el próximo IXL que voy a explicar. Pero simplemente fíjense aquí donde dice 2x más 1. Así que vamos a decir que eso es la regla. Si yo entro un valor para x, por ejemplo, x igual a 5, que quiere decir que tengo que sustituir el 5 aquí y hacer 5 por 2 me da 10 y 10 más 1 me da 11. Así que cuando yo entro x igual a 5, lo único que puede salir es un valor para y, que en este caso sería 11. Para hacer una función, tiene que ser que cada vez que entro un número, solamente puede salir un número. No puedo coger dos respuestas diferentes. En un momento les voy a enseñar ejemplos de lo que quiero decir para que lo entiendan lo que les estoy explicando. ¿Okay? Aquí en esta tabla le está enseñando la misma cosa. Cuando x es negativo 2, y es negativo 3. Solamente tengo para esta entrada solamente existe esta salida. Porque recuerden que todos los valores de x son las entradas y los valores de y son las salidas. Igual con todos los otros números que ven aquí. Cuando x es 0 siempre cojo 1, cuando x es 1 siempre me da 3, cuando x es 2 siempre me da 5, etc. Ok, miren aquí, esto es otra manera de expresar lo que está aquí, es como una tabla. Te está diciendo que cuando x es negativo 2, el valor de y es 4. Cuando x es 0, el valor de y es 0. Cuando x es 1, el valor de y es 1. Y cuando x es 2, el valor de y es 4. Está perfectamente bien que cuando x es negativo 2 me dé 4 y también cuando x es 2 también me dé 4. Porque todavía está siguiendo la regla que yo dije, que es para hacer una función, cada entrada solamente puede tener un valor de salida. Así que cuando x es negativo 2, solamente cojo una respuesta que es positivo 4. Y cuando x es positivo 2, solamente me da una respuesta que es positivo 4. ¿Ok? Miren los próximos ejemplos para entender esto mejor. Alright, look at what I mean, right? I already explained these, so instead of looking at examples of functions, let me show you what are not functions. I think that'll help you understand it better if you're still not clear. Okay, vamos a mirar los ejemplos que no son funciones. Alright, look at this table. Look right here. When x is 10, you get 52. And then it says, oh, when x is 10, you also get 53. That means it is not a function. Cannot be a function. Because in order to be a function, when x equals 10, you got to get the same answer for y every single time. If it's telling you that when x is 10, you get two different answers, that is not a function. That's how you're going to do the questions on this IXL. All you got to do is find situations like this and realize that that is not a function. Same thing here. Although this picture is, I didn't realize it when I made it, but this picture is the same as this one, the same numbers. But look how it has it shown here. When x equals 10, it has two arrows. One arrow is pointing to 52 and one arrow is pointing to 53. Therefore, this is not a function. Look at this one. When x equals 15, y equals 10. And oh, when x equals 15, y also equals 10.5. That is not a function because for every x value, you can only get one y value. Here it's telling you that when x is 15, you get two different answers. You get two different y values. Therefore, this does not work. This is not a function. Okay? Así que estas son ejemplos de relaciones que no son funciones. Porque aquí te está enseñando que cuando x es 10, y es 52, y también a veces cuando x es 10, y es 53. Para hacer una función, cuando x es 10, solamente podemos coger un valor para y. No podemos coger dos diferentes valores. ¿Ok? Eso es lo único que tienen que mirar cuando están haciendo los problemas de IXL de esta sección. Es simplemente fijarse y ver que esto quiere decir que no es una función. ¿Ok? Esta foto aquí es lo mismo número que están aquí. ¿Ok? Cuando miran el 10, tienen dos flechas. ¿Ok? Está diciendo que cuando x es 10, y te da 52 y a veces te da 53. Eso no es una función. Porque para cada valor de entrada solamente podemos tener un valor de salida. Aquí también te está enseñando que cuando x es 15, tenemos dos diferentes valores para y, 10 y 10.5. Alright, so, look at these examples. These are 4 different problems, alright? 4 diferentes problemas de IXL. Alright, so look at the first one. It says, look at the question. Which of these relations is a function? ¿Cuál de estas relaciones es una función? Alright, let's look at the first option. In the first option, look, when x is 5, y is 11, and when x is 5, y is 2. That's already wrong. Because when x is 5, you can only get one answer. And this is saying that y could equal 11 or y could equal 2. Same thing when x is equal to 1. In the middle here. When x is equal to 1, y equals 1. And then it says when x equals 1, y also equals 20. That's wrong. Okay? Look at this one. I'm going to say this one in Spanish. Okay? Cuando x es 1, te dice que y es 17. Y cuando x es 1, y es 18. Ahí están dos salidas diferentes. Okay? Igual con 19. Cuando x es 19, y es 1, y cuando x es 19 también es 17. Ya eso no puede ser una función. This is the right answer right here. Esta es la respuesta correcta. Alright, it's easy to figure this one out because all the x coordinates only come out once. They're never repeated. But every x value only has one y value. This one is wrong because for 20 it has two different y values, and for 5 it has two different y values. Alright, so this one's wrong. I hope you realize that and see how easy it is. Let me continue here, right? The first one, when x equals 15, it has two different y values. So that's wrong. That's not a function. Cuando x es 15, tiene dos diferentes valores para y, así que esta no puede ser. Alright, in this one, This is the right answer. Esta está correcta. It's pretty. You can do them pretty fast. Okay, this one, when x is 0, you got two different y values, and when x is 5, you got two different y values. So that one's wrong. Esta está mal. Esta, cuando x es 19, hay dos diferentes valores para y, así que esta está mal. Alright, over here, when x is -4, this has two different y values, so it's wrong. Aquí, esta está bien. This is the correct one. Because all the x's only appear once. I mean, they can appear more than once, but they can only have one y value associated with each x, okay? Aquí el 4 tiene dos diferentes valores de y y el 7 también. 4 and 7 both have two different y values associated with it. And this one, the 10. Hopefully you're seeing that these are easy. Alright, now look at this one. These are the ones that come out in the challenge zone at the end, okay? Estos salen al final, okay? Why am I circling this? Because look what it says here. These have more than one correct answer. Estas dicen seleccionar todas las respuestas que aplican. Así que hay más que una respuesta correcta. Alright, so let's look at each one of these, alright? The first one is correct. El primero está correcto. Let me do that. Okay, the second one is also correct. También está correcto. Alright, because every x value only has one y value associated to it. This one right here is also correct. También correcto. Alright, this one is the only one that's wrong. Because when x is 17, you have three different y values. Cuando x es 17, tienen tres diferentes valores para y. Guys, I did one, when I did this IXL, to look at all the problems, I had one where all four were correct, if I remember correctly. So it is possible for all four to be correct. You got to look at it carefully. Okay, cuando yo hice este IXL para coger ejemplos, había una pregunta donde todas las respuestas estaban correctas. Así que sí es posible. So in this one, only this one's wrong. Alright, let's look at some other examples. Alright, same exact thing. Esta es la misma cosa. Alright, so it says, which of these relations is a function? Alright, so the first one is wrong because, look, when x is 2, y is 0, and when x is 2, y is 4. Wrong. Okay, this one, when x is 4, y is 16, and when x is 4, y is 20. Así que este está mal. This one, when x is 2, y is -15. When x is 2, y is 1. So this is the only correct answer. Okay? Okay, now this one, again, this is from the challenge zone. So there's more than one correct answer. The first one is correct. El primero está correcto. This one is also correct. This one, when x is 10, y is 7, and when x is 10, y is 9. So that's it. This one's wrong. Este está mal. And this one, when x is 9, y is 13. When x is 9, y is 15. When x is 9, y is 3. So this one's wrong. Okay. Alright, now let's talk about this. Now we're going to talk about graphs, alright? So I need you to pay attention. Okay, when you have a graph, you could actually do it super fast if you listen to me. It's super easy. Just please listen to me. Okay, by doing the vertical line test. If you can draw a vertical line that intersects the graph more than once for any value of x, then the graph is not the graph of a function. Mister, what does that mean? Well, golly gee, kids, I'll tell you right now. Okay, look. If you could draw a vertical line means a line going up and down, alright? If you look at the graph and you could draw a vertical line, like look at this first one. If I could draw a vertical line, which I could, right here, that intersects the points that are here more than once, it is not a function. It is not a function, and I'll tell you why. Alright, look at these 2 points. It's a little hard to draw an arrow there. Give me 1 second. All right. The coordinates of those 2 points are, let me see, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. All right. They're both when x equals -5. All right. The top one is at 1, 2, 3. And the bottom one is at 2. Okay. Look at my coordinates. Okay. When x is -5, y is 3. When x is -5, y is 2. That is why the vertical line test works. Because if you could draw a vertical line and it intersects the graph in 2 points, that means that this situation exists where you have one value of x with 2 different y values. Therefore, it is not not a function. All right, look at this one right here. Can I draw a vertical line that intersects it twice? Yeah, right there. Okay, because again, I mean, you should understand it already, but just to make my point clear. All right, the coordinates for the top point is -2, -1. And for the bottom one, it's -2, -3. So again, you have a situation where the same value of x has two different y values, and that is not a function. Look at this third one. I could draw a vertical line right there, so therefore it is not a function. Look at the last one. I cannot draw a vertical line anywhere that will intersect in two different places, so therefore this one is correct. All right, that one is correct. You know what, before I continue, let me just explain that in Spanish. Alright, so then everybody will follow me for the rest of the examples. Okay, en español, cuando le dan un gráfico es súper fácil para ver si es una función o no es una función. Si pueden, esto se llama en inglés el vertical line test, el examen de una línea vertical. Si pueden dibujar una línea vertical que intersecta el gráfico más que una vez para cualquier valor de x, entonces ese gráfico no es un gráfico de una función. Así que si pueden dibujar una línea vertical que intersecta el gráfico en más que un lugar, por ejemplo aquí donde yo dibujé esta línea, no es una función. ¿Por qué no? Porque mira los coordinados de esos dos puntos. Tengo el mismo valor de x, -5, y dos diferentes valores de y. Y esa situación quiere decir que no es una función. La misma cosa aquí. Como pude dibujar esta línea vertical que intersecta estos dos puntos, okay, si miran los coordinados, para el valor de x de -2, tengo dos diferentes coordinados para y. Así que eso no es una función. Igual que aquí. El último, para este problema, es el único que no existe en ningún lugar donde yo puedo dibujar una línea vertical que va a intersectar el gráfico más que una vez. Okay? Así que este es el único que es una función. This is the only one that's a function. Okay? Voy a hacer los demás ejemplos, pero es la misma cosa. Alright, so let me do this one, alright? So again, it takes one, you don't have to, obviously you could do it just by looking at it. Alright, se puede hacer simplemente mirándolo. Alright, so this one's wrong. Okay, this one, look right here, boom. Wrong. This one right here, boom. Wrong. This one, correct. This is the only one that passes the vertical line test. Alright, this one, look, boom and boom. Wrong. Boom, boom. That's my new thing. Alright, esta está mal. Esta aquí puedo dibujar la línea vertical, así que ya, esta no puede ser una función. This is the only correct answer. Was I kidding when I said this was easy or what? Alright, always trust me, guys. Always trust me. If I tell you it's easy, it's easy. Everything is easy. Alright, this one is correct. The first one is correct because it passes the vertical line test. This one is wrong, or is not a function, I should say. This one is not a function, and this one is not a function. Okay, so wrong, wrong, wrong. Okay, this one right there, not a function. Right here, not a function. Right here, not a function. The last one is correct. Alright? Please don't tell me that's difficult. All you gotta do is draw a line. Come on now. No me digan que eso es difícil. Eso es bien fácil. Okay, I think this is the last slide. Let's see. Alright, so we already went over this. Let's just go through a few more examples to make sure in case anybody needs it. Okay, which of these relations is a function? ¿Cuál de estas relaciones es una función? Okay, so number one is wrong because look at 18. When x is 18, you got two different answers for y. Cuando x es 18, tenemos dos diferentes respuestas para y. Así que eso no es una función. Alright, this one is correct. This one is correct. Esta está correcto. Because every x value only has one y value associated to it. Alright, this one is wrong. Just look at 19. 19 has two different y values associated with it. Look carefully. El 19 tiene dos diferentes valores de y. And this one, look at 12. Miren el 12. It has three different y values. Get out of here. Alright, so let's look at this one right here. The first one is wrong. Look at 0. El primero está mal, miren el cero. The second one is correct. The third one is wrong. Look at 12. Okay, este está mal por el 12. And the last one is wrong. Look at 18. Alright, guys, I think I was planning to do some more examples, but these are so simple. I'll just put the answers in case anybody needs it. I hope you think this is simple. This is the obvious correct answer right here. Wait, did I make a mistake? Let me look carefully. When x is 0, y is 4. When x is negative 5. This one has so many lines, I really gotta look carefully. Oh, you know what I didn't realize? This one says select all that apply. There's more than one correct answer. That's why I doubted myself. Alright, so the other correct answer is down here. Okay? Esta tiene dos respuestas correctas porque dice seleccionar todo lo que aplican. Alright, so I'm gonna end it there, guys, so we can go on to the next IXL section for today.